Hello, and
Hello.
welcome back to the channel. How is everyone? Let us know how you are in the comments. Want to know? How have you been? We've been very stressed.
And cold.
And cold. And busy. And it has been a bit of a struggle. Hasn't it really? Let's be honest. But we've been up to quite a lot.
We have. Yeah.
So I'm going to pass over to Alex on his thoughts. Because the lucky devil only went to see Dungeons & Dragons, you know, at the premiere. Exciting stuff. So yeah, please feel free to give your thoughts.
Of course.
I'm going to go and sit slightly sideways so I can, you know,
It was
be cool.
Obviously not the film itself, but beginning, the premiere. They got
Yes.
a bunch of guys, chicks as well,
Yeah.
with who were trained in, I don't know what it is, and they're reenactments,
Yeah.
and they really go for each other. Like they
You mean LARPing peoples?
Yeah. And they had that at the front of the cinema.
I
And
will have to
fighting.
translate your 1950s terms.
Whoops.
yeah. There were people of different genders.
Yes.
I take it. Here we go. Yeah. That were there, that were LARPing.
Yes, they were all just fighting and seeing who died and who didn't.
Yeah. So for those that don't know what LARPing is, it's live action replay. Role play.
Rewind.
Yes. Role play. So I'm guessing that was something that was bizarre but interesting to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because I've
Yeah.
never seen that. I mean, the only thing I've seen is in films like what's that film?
Like Superbad.
Yeah, role models.
Role models.
Where they actually have the thing where they're having that fight.
Yeah, was it
stuff.
Role Models or Superbad? Was it
Role
Superbad
Models.
as well? It was Role Models.
Superbad.
There we go.
Role
No,
models.
that was the whole MacGuffin thing. That's where MacGuffin comes from.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know my movies. To watch the film, but not at the premiere.
Yeah.
So I was lucky I've seen it, but I didn't get to have free popcorn.
Yeah. It was a very cool experience.
Yeah, I can imagine it was probably pretty epic. So did you get to meet any of the press or anything else afterwards?
Not really.
Boo.
They've got photographers, journalists, but
It was more for the press, wasn't it, than anyone else?
yeah, take lots of pictures. But it was the guy.
Doing the actual LARPing was probably the highlight, I should imagine.
And also when you walked before the premiere, the cinema started, before we went into the cinema, they were all standing around just in poses, and they were, obviously interacting. It was quite a lot of fun.
Cool.
Because I've heard of that stuff, but I haven't really.
I think it's one of those things where if you know someone who does it and you get into that that part of that culture, then you either embrace it and become part of it, and it's your part of your life. But otherwise, if you don't know someone who does it, you're not necessarily going to, search for it to join in. I think it could be quite a intimidating experience.
It is.
If it isn't something that it isn't part of your direct world, like if you don't know anyone that does it, because it's always good, I think, to have someone to introduce you into, this is what we do, this is how it works, but it's inherently part of Dungeons and Dragons anyway, because it's the roleplay element.
Yeah.
So I think it was kind of cool that they acknowledged that. It was cool.
The link, it's pretty cool.
But obviously we've both seen the film, and your thoughts?
Really good film, lots of fun. Obviously, I sort of see Chris Pine as a leading man. Like he there's something about him. He's got this really handsome look, but it's got that star. He's got that.
I think he's got that charisma.
Yeah, there's something about him. It's like he just draws you in, and you just want to.
You sort of watch it and you want him to succeed.
Yeah, as opposed to, like, for example, nothing against him, but like, for example, you've got Brad Pitt. He might look very pretty, but there's nothing sort of, you just want to look into his eyes, Chris Pine's eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just something, and I like that.
Yeah. He's also got quite a cheeky smile, and I think that kind of works, because if he plays a bit of a rogue character like he does in this movie, you do sort of get that sort of side smile and you go, oh, what's he done now? And it does work, but for me, I find it quite difficult because I watched him in the film, I'll be honest, And I just went, he's Captain Kirk, and he's Captain Kirk in this as well.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more like a naughty Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
So that was not, but that wasn't distracting for me. It was more like when you see Jennifer Aniston in a movie.
Yeah.
She's just Jennifer Aniston in said movie.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's just she puts a lot of her character into the role. Yeah. And I think Chris puts a lot of his own character into the role. So when you do watch it, you can't help but think, yeah, this is like a naughty Captain Kirk.
Pretty much.
You know, which is kind of funny. But overall, you know, we'll warning, spoilers. Just so you're aware, right? For excuse me, for the overall plot, it was very much to me like an 80s movie.
Yeah.
It did play very much like that, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I really like that. But...
Yeah. I mean, the action elements, there were bits that were a little bit contrived, but I think that was purely because you're trying to get the world of Dungeons and Dragons and push it into a film. Narrative's always going to be awkward. So there's going to be those tropey things of, this person died, but we can bring them back. If we've got the MacGuffin, we can use it and they'll be back to life. So if that kind of thing annoys you, then the film's not for you. If it's one of those things where you go, I just want to sit and chill without any politics, without any ideology being pushed at you, then I think it's a good film in that respect. You can just lose yourself in the movie.
It's a bit of fun. It's sort of like a sillier version of / Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones. Like it's
an action movie and doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
There's a moment that I laugh when Chris Pine's character grabs one of the judges who's a bird so that he can escape right as they're about to pardon him. Which...
Whoops.
Yeah, I know, but it was so funny because you go, oh, yeah, that's about right. It was funny, but it was also a little bit cliche. It'll go, any minute now they're going to say the following, and they did. Yeah. It does, have those tropes to it, in my opinion, but still an enjoyable, fun movie. Yeah.
And as probably in a film, where an action film, you've got to have a villain, and they are usually a Russian, German, Englishman.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Yeah. I know what you're saying there, but I think if you ever need like a bad guy and you need a charismatic bad guy, you can't really go wrong with Hugh Grant. Let's be honest. No. And he does play a really good bad guy. It almost seems grammatically wrong to say he plays it very, very straight. I think the only other person that could have done a really good job with it would have been the late Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
I think he would have done a really, really good job. But for those of a certain generation, like myself, that know the cartoon series, and we probably know the cartoon series more than we know the actual board game, there is an absolutely brilliant, like, 2 Easter eggs in the movie. And the initial one was like blink and you miss it, but the second one is more, I know this, and this ties into an episode of the cartoon. And I went, that is really, really, really clever. I liked that a lot. And they tried to really make the actors who were just cameoing to do that really look like the cartoon characters. They did a really good job in what they got them to wear and what they did. It was such a good nod, because I was watching it thinking like, well, it would be good, you know, if somehow they showed up or there was some sort of nod to the TV series.
Multiverse.
Because of just how the whole licensing thing worked previously, you wouldn't expect to see the 80s characters in there. So you automatically just draw a line and go, this is something completely different. You're not going to see them. And then when you do, it's like, So yeah, I was the only person, I think, in my group that was fanboying over it. And I was like, yay! And I'm getting the whole, what? What? But yeah, millennials. I know, young people. But
back in my day.
Back in my day, we had a cartoon. Yeah. I thought it was Hanna-Barbera that animated it, but
probably.
It might be Ruby Spears. I'm gonna have to Google that. Yeah, I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments. If you know who animated it, feel free to let me know to clarify, just so I don't have to Google it. That'd be great.
But I think it would be fair to say it possibly was them, because there's like the Monopoly at the time. But they're really good.
Yeah, but they were the go-to animation studio.
Yeah.
You've got to think even Mattel initially went to Hanna-Barbera for, hey, we've got this Masters of the Universe project. And they were like, no. So you can kind of see why they might have been the studio to do it. But anyway, we'll find out. Someone will tell us.
Yeah. Someone
will let us know. But yeah, so your thoughts overall, did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it just okay? Was it I enjoyed it, but I probably will never watch it again?
So in terms, it's hard because the film itself is really fun.
Yeah.
It's really good and all that sort of thing, a bit like Sonic. But unfortunately, rewatchability for me, probably not. So it's like it was well done, like everything was sort of perfect.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just not my sort of film. I don't know.
Yeah, for me,
I'd give it like an 8 out of 10, but not in terms of rewatchability, because
yeah. Well, some films are just they're fun to watch once. They're like a throwaway movie. You watch it, you enjoy it, you move on. For me though, I thought it was great. I would say probably 8.5 out of 10. I think that it had the right ingredients. Whether it was necessarily baked long enough, that's the question. That it's a difficult one to sort of use the plan to throw the dice on.
Had all the correct elements.
Yeah.
But don't know if it was baked long enough.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. It was. You've got some good ideas, but there feels like there's a little bit of interference in certain places that didn't necessarily need that studio interference.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult one to call. If they do a sequel, will you watch it? See, that's the important question. If they go and do like a second one, will you go watch it?
I probably would go and see it.
I probably would as well. But again, it is that thing of, will I pick up the movie? I probably will. Again, how often will I rewatch it? Probably not that often. I'll probably just have it in my video library and forget that I've got it, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, like, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one because it does fit into that. It's fun. If it's on TV, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, for me, I don't feel I would search for it on Netflix. Even though I would definitely buy it, I think it would be sat on my shelf gaining dust.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thought. Like, it's a good film. It's a fun film. Definitely go watch it if you've got the opportunity. Go and rent it if you can't get to the cinema for whatever reason.
Go to Blockbuster.
Yeah, if you've got a time machine, or you live in, is it Arizona where the last one is?
I think so.
Yeah.
Get a VCR and VHS. And...
get yourself a Daewoo VCR and go watch it. Crikey. I wonder if they would actually release it on VHS. That would be an interesting one, wouldn't it?
I mean, if it got enough money, probably would.
Oh, I don't know. See, this is what always makes me laugh. I'm a bit of a tangent, I know. But you know how there's video game companies that put games on cartridge for like older consoles? I'm actually surprised there isn't a company out there, distribution company, that takes modern movies and puts them on VHS or on Laserdisc. I'm actually surprised that's not a thing.
Maybe it might be the next thing.
Hey, watch the space.
Because, audio cassettes, records sort of came back. So...
Yeah, I still can't believe there's like modern albums coming out on audio cassette, but I think I'm just showing my age now. But yeah.
Records all the way.
Records all the way, yeah. Go analog, right?
Good frisbees too, if you don't like the album.
No, don't. don't use finals frisbees, please.
No. There were two names I was going to say, but I will not say them. They are perfect frisbees.
I'm guessing there might be like Swift in the name.
No, but
that could be one. Just upset everyone.
Yeah. No, it's not her.
Okay.
It's a couple that. Yeah, I'm not going to mention.
I think Alex is saying Bananarama.
Maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. I'm not even angry.
I'm your Venus. I'm your fire.
Well, I think that's enough insanity for one video. So we're going to leave you here. But let us know in the comments if you've seen the film, what you think of it. And we'll be interested to hear from you. Thank you. Awesome people. Goodbye.